All right, I'm going to make my fish soup today. So I've got my pot going here and I'm just gonna turn it on sort of to a 7. And then I'm going to add my butter. I have tried this with lard or tallow or even bacon drippings, but I find the fish flavor is too mild and the flavors kind of overpower that. So you can do what you want, but I really do like this better. This is a 1/4 cup of just regular salted butter. And I will let that go. I'll just turn it up high for a bit to get that melted. And then I will show you the fish that I use. My favorite are these basa loins. They come individually wrapped like this. I've already cut these open, but I've cut them open, but they're individually sealed. So the nice thing about this is that you can just take out one at a time. And because I cook for myself, I'm just one person, I do like to be able to just take out one at a time. So these are the basa loins. And so they're, the reason I like them is they're a little bit of a heartier meat, but they're still a white fish. So as this begins to melt, I'm going to add in my fish. So I'm adding in 4 of these basa loins, just like this. And we just want to give them a bit of a start on cooking before we add the rest. It's such a simple recipe that it's like takes almost no time. So I just want to make sure that this butter is getting melted and that the fish does not stick to the bottom. That's kind of the most important part at this stage of the game. And it doesn't really matter for this recipe when you add the spices. So it's not picky in that way. So I've got my spices laid out here. I'm gonna start with my salt, and I use the Redmond real salt. And so I would do about, I guess about that much, was probably about 1/2 teaspoon. And then I'll just sprinkle that in there. Garlic is about the same. Now garlic is a bit strong and not everybody can handle garlic, so I don't do as much, maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon in that one. Pepper, this is just regular black pepper. You can use white pepper. I grind my black pepper really fine because I don't like it too strong. I don't like all the black dots in there. So there's that. Now I do go a little heavier on the paprika. I do like the color that it adds, and it does add some flavor. So about, I don't know, 3/4 of a teaspoon of the paprika. And then I do a full teaspoon of dill. So of course you can adjust the seasoning to whatever works best for you and your family, but that's kind of what I do. There we go. It's starting to stick on the bottom, so I'm just going to give it a bit of a stir. And the butter is now completely melted, and that's what I was kind of waiting for. You can see the fish is getting cooked already. So I'm just going to grab my this is my 1 cup measuring cup, and this is just regular 35% heavy cream. So I'm going to get 1 cup in there, get it going, and you'll see that the broth will have this nice sort of rich color. It's not going to be just straight up white. And it's already smelling good. And then I'll add another cup, stir that around. I usually do 3 cups because as this fish cooks, it is going to flake apart inside the sauce. And I don't want it too thin, but I do want it as a soup. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to let this cook here on 7. I'm not going to add the 3rd cup now. It kind of depends on how, like, if your fish was frozen and it's got a lot of moisture in it, you might have a frothy or brothier soup. So I'm just going to wait with adding the last cup until this has cooked a bit more. I'm going to turn this down now to 2, put the lid on, and let it simmer here for about 10 minutes, and then I'll show you again. Okay, so this has been cooking for a bit, a little longer than what I had anticipated. So it's about 20 minutes actually. But you can see that the fish has completely like broken itself up here as it cooked. I would like it a little thinner than this. So I'm going to add my 3rd cup of heavy cream. Now I really like the color of this. This is just gonna, well, look at that. So good. So there are gonna be some larger chunks and then some more flaky chunks or small chunks in there. And so in general, this is now complete. So as long as it's hot, you're ready to eat it. I am a carnivore, so this is a little bit of a higher carb because of all the cream, but I do like that it has all that extra fat in it, because fish itself does not have a lot of fat. So if you want something that's really sustainable and that actually gives you some satiety, meaning that you don't feel hungry for a long time, this is a really good one for that. And the flavor is just so creamy and delightful. Now, here's a trick that I sometimes do if I do want to add just a little bit of something to it. Especially if I'm looking, I've got this like piece of leftover cream cheese, probably about a 1/4 cup here that I'm just probably not going to use. So I like to throw this in here. I don't like any other cheeses in here. Sorry for my fingers. I'm the only one who's going to eat this. So I don't like other cheeses in there. I don't really like the sort of that stringy or melty, but cream cheese in there, especially just a little bit like that, is so delightful. It just adds a little bit of a different dimension to the flavor. So this is done. I am going to enjoy this for supper tonight. So yeah, I hope that was helpful and that you enjoy the creation when you make it. I hope you leave a comment and let me know what you think.